Hey guys, this is Aaron Lewis, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a video on how to care for a Green Cheek Conure. And joining us in this video is my female Green Cheek Conure, Ruby. I've had her for about 3 months now. I got her, was it November or October last year? And the person who I bought her off said she was born in March, so that means she's coming up to be about a year old now. She is an extremely tame bird. She loves spending time with me. And just in case you were wondering, she might be a bit skittish or scared throughout this video because there are lights and a camera pointing at her, and she's not used to that because this is her second time being in a video, and she was very skittish in that video. She seems to be doing extremely well actually. This is the second time actually filming this video because the first one didn't turn out too well. Anyways, let's get into the care part of this video. I just want to let you guys know who are planning on getting a conure, any conure really, but this video is aimed at a Green Cheek Conure. They are a companionized bird, so you do need to have that time to spend with them. She is pretty much out with me all the time, apart from when I go to work at 10 o'clock at night. I do night shifts, so it doesn't really faze her, and when I get home I sleep for about 5 hours and wake up around lunchtime, and then she spends the afternoon with me. So she's rarely by herself in her cage, and when she is, she's just playing with her toys or just having fun in her cage. And also, if you're not going to be around that much for the bird, I do not recommend you get a Green Cheek Conure or any conure for that fact, because as I said, they are a companion bird. But if you do really want to get a Green Cheek Conure, make sure you get it a companion from day dot. Make sure they are raised together, or otherwise there can be some fighting involved, and you don't want that because it could be fatal. So make sure you do get them where they're raised together, they're used to each other. Don't get a Green Cheek Conure and a year later decide you want another one, because there will be some fighting that happens. Like, that's how I got my male conure, my male cockatiel that is out in the living room right now. My brother originally had a cockatiel, and he thought that he'd get her a little companion, but it didn't go to plan, and she started attacking the male cockatiel. I'm so used to saying conure all the time now, but she started attacking the cockatiel, and that's how I got him. So you do want to make sure that you get them from day dot and that they are raised together, otherwise they could start fighting, and you don't want that, or otherwise you might have to get rid of one or just get another cage for them. Okay, now to the next topic. There is a lot of controversy over this topic. I've had lots of comments saying it's a good thing, a lot of comments saying it's a bad thing, but I personally always recommend to clip your bird's wings. A lot of people say it's wrong to clip your bird's wings. They have wings for a reason. They're meant to be able to fly. Yes, they are meant to be able to fly outside, where they have the big open space to fly around. They're used to that space, and they're not gonna hurt themselves. Like, I always recommend cutting your bird's wings so your bird doesn't fly into a window or a fan or fly away and get killed, because I can tell you right now, if your bird gets out the door and flies away, it won't come back and it won't survive either. It'll either end up starving to death, or it just will get preyed on by bigger birds and it will end up getting killed. So if you want what's safe for your bird, I personally recommend cutting their wings. When I first got my cockatiel, and I used to let him out all the time, I'd have my fans off, but he would still end up flying into the blades, and one of those incidents could have been fatal, and he did fly into the window a lot of times. Most of the time actually, every time I let him out, he'd at least fly into the window like 4 times. So that's just why I clip my bird's wings, and I do recommend you clip yours too. And not only that, it is easier to hand tame your bird if its wings are clipped. They can't fly away from you, and they just seem to be a lot more calm and collective when their wings are clipped. They don't tend to attack you. That's what I noticed anyway after I cut my cockatiel's wings. It was a lot more calm, and it was faster to hand tame too, easier to hand tame, so I do recommend you clip your bird's wings. But it really is your own choice, that's just what I recommend. So don't be attacking me on this video saying it's wrong to clip your bird's wings, because it's not. A lot of people do it. Most people cut their bird's wings actually. It's really just the person's own opinion whether they want to cut it or not. As for diet for green cheek conures go, I do not recommend a seed-only diet. I personally sometimes feed my bird seed just because I like to give it variety. I only give it seed like once a month or something, and I just mix it in with its fruit and veg. And by the way, the fruit and veg that I put in, I just cut up some apple and some carrot into just very small pieces so it can eat it, and just chuck it in a bowl and chuck it in its cage, and she absolutely loves that. I try to put fresh stuff in her cage daily. Sometimes I forget, or sometimes I just don't have time. So maybe every second day she'll get fruit and veg fresh. She absolutely loves it. She'll sit there eating it for ages. And it is healthy for them to have a high variety diet, especially fruit and veg. But you need to make sure that you do not give them avocado because that is deadly to them. I also feed her Better Farm pellets. I will put a little picture up in the top corner over there. That's what I feed her every day. She always has that in her cage and she loves it. Also, what she does is, because the Better Farm pellets are also very hard, she'll pick it up in her mouth and go over to her water dish and dunk her beak in to soften the pellet. The only downside with that is I do have to change her water at least 3 times a day because her water gets filthy, because sometimes she'll accidentally drop a pellet in the water and it turns all mushy and the water turns slimy and disgusting. So you do need to have that in mind, but you do need to make sure that you do feed them pellets because it is healthier for the bird. Luckily, my bird was raised on pellets, so it wasn't that hard to feed her pellets. If your bird isn't raised on pellets, like my budgies and cockatiel were, it will be hard for you to feed them pellets. Now onto the cage size. You need to make sure that you have a decent sized cage, especially if you're getting a conure, because they do like to do a lot of roaming about their cage. If she's out with me, she'll roam about my bed. She doesn't stray too far from me though, because she does like spending time with me. Like if I walk out of the room and she's still in her cage, she's fairly quiet for the most part, but as soon as I walk out of the room and she's in her cage, she'll start squawking her head off. And I kid you not, that's what she does. And she'll also start flapping her wings, walking around the cage looking for me. Or if I go out to work, I work night shifts, I don't know if I've already said that, I'll cover her up at around 6 o'clock every night. And when I get home at 6 o'clock in the morning, she knows that time, and as soon as she hears that garage door open, she'll start squawking, letting me know that she wants out to come greet me. And she makes that noise actually continuously. So she is very bonded with me, and that's just something you need to know with conures, okay? I said at the beginning of the video and I'll say it again, they do bond with you. So you can't get a conure and just bond with it for a couple months and decide, hey, it's boring, I want to get a different bird, or I just want to get rid of it. Because they are a long-term commitment. They do live from 20 to 30 years if they are taken care of properly, and you don't want to give your bird away. I was looking on my local ad thing, which is Gumtree, and people are giving their birds away because they don't have time for it anymore, or they're just not interested in it anymore, and that's not what you should be doing. You buy a bird to bond with for its life, like you buy a dog. They're exactly like a dog. You don't give your dog away. You're in that commitment for 30 years. So just know that when you buy a conure, they do live for a long period of time, so you can't just buy them and expect them to live for 5 years and then just give up on it, because that's not how they work. They are a long-term commitment. Now on to how often you should clean your conure's cage. I clean mine about maybe once or twice a month, and how I clean it is I just basically just change the newspaper over that I have down in the bottom of the cage, because that's all she really gets dirty. The sides of her cage don't get dirty, and as far as her toys and perches go, I usually just wipe them down every day anyways, so they don't get any poo residue left on them, and their food bowls. I've noticed that my conure doesn't seem to poo on its bed or its food dishes like my cockatiel and budgies do. I think they're a lot more smarter and know not to do that. So you don't really need to worry about washing their food dishes or anything, apart from when you change over their food and water. Really all I do is just change the newspaper over in their cage once a month, and that's all she really needs, as long as you make sure they have a lot of toys in their cage. Oh, and that's another thing. They are very smart birds and intelligent birds, so you do need to make sure you have a lot of toys for them in their cage, and they tend to get bored of their toys. And the best way to find out whether they get bored of their toys is they'll just stop playing with them, so they'll just sit there in their cage doing nothing. And I do highly recommend you change out your birds' toys when you start to notice that they're getting bored of them, or otherwise they'll get bored and they'll find other things to do, like plucking their feathers or just getting lonely when you're not with them, and that's not healthy. So I do recommend swapping out your birds' toys every so often. It's healthy for them, and yeah, it gives them something new to experience every once in a while. Anyways guys, that's all for today's video. I do hope you learnt something on how to care for a green cheek conure. I do hope to start making more videos. I'm sorry I haven't been around lately. My New Year's resolution is to make more YouTube videos and upload them, so hopefully I can stick to that. So far I haven't. What's the date? I think it's like the 15th or the 16th maybe, and I've only made one YouTube video for this year so far. So my New Year's resolution is going great. Also, make sure you go check out my social media accounts, which are always down in the description box below. Give them a follow, like my photos. I post photos of me, things I do throughout the day, and of course, my birds. And also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at the end of this video so you can stay tuned for more videos just like this. I do tend to post bird videos, how-to videos, and maybe some tech videos here and there. I also will be doing an update on my fish tank that I recently bought, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I guess that's all. Make sure you have a good day, and see you for my next video. Bye guys.